I would like to ask Patrick a question. How was your Saturday?
Can I answer that?
It was outstanding. It was outstanding. 5 stars,
Can we
no
give a
complaints.
standing ovation to Ryan Day?
Pardon?
Can we give a standing ovation to Ryan Day?
Oh, it took me a minute to like understand what you guys are talking about, but I'm not a football fan, but anyway.
Absolutely. I loved it.
Totally
Good,
unexpected.
awesome. Yeah, really.
We'll note that for the record.
All right, so bringing us back to the purpose of our meeting.
Oh, that isn't it?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Commissioner Eggenberger, could you please call the roll?
Sure. Commissioner Cruz does not appear to be here. Are we taping? Do I need to talk into the mic?
I think we are. And Commissioner Cruz had emailed earlier that he will unfortunately not be able to attend, so he gave prior notice.
Commissioner Eggenberger, here. Commissioner
Is she,
Foster.
is she really?
I'm here.
Commissioner Janowski. Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Singh.
Here.
Commissioner Watkins. Here. Commissioner Weber.
Here.
And Chairperson Zuber.
Good evening. All right, very good. We have some minutes to look at from November 18th. All right, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Weber and support by Commissioner Eggenberger. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. 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 And anybody have anything to add to our agenda? I assume we're not going to delete the one item that's on it, but, I mean, I know you would like to delete it, Nancy, but anyway.
I just want to vote yes and move on.
Just giving you crap, I'm sorry. Anything to add, Patrick?
Nothing to add, no.
Okay, very good. So anybody want to make a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
All right. All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Lee and support by Commissioner Watkins. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Patrick, are there any communications we should know about?
Nothing outside of what we had emailed with the packet.
Perfect. And I feel the need to mention that this is a public hearing and we have a section right now for public comment, but we have no one in the audience. So I'm going to assume that there is no public comment. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, and tonight we do not have any public hearings, but we do have an item of old business, and that is the master plan of which we will consider distribution this evening. Aaron, please tell us all about it.
Well, hello all. So I'm excited to get to this step. You know, we've been working on the master plan for many, many, many months now. You have all seen the draft in chapter form, bit by bit, as we've gone through several key planning topics such as housing and neighborhoods, transportation, the corridors, specifically discussions related to infill development along our commercial corridors of Ford Road or Michigan Avenue, the concept of inviting neighborhood nodes, mixed-use nodes into certain areas within our community and those conceptual designs and renderings there. We've talked about the future land use map and the future land use designations that we want to see and how we want the future of Canton to look within the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It's been a long process, and I thank you all for your efforts and your commitment to this process because it has been a very heavy lift. And so I just want to say at the forefront, thank you for that. The draft text we discussed at the joint meeting in October between the Planning Commission and the Township Board. There were several key elements or key topics that were discussed. Nothing substantive was changed in the text related to those conversations, but there were some points that were discussed in more depth or provided a little bit more context in the sustainability section and building facade materials and things like that. So before you this evening, provided to you in your packet, is the Comprehensive Master Plan, known as Canton's Vision for Tomorrow, a Comprehensive Community Master Plan. It's a 234-page document, which has a complete undertaking related to the history, the demographic shifts that Canton has experienced, all of the key planning topics that we've talked about thus far, and several wonderful, beautiful images and graphics related to our beautiful Canton community. So I don't have a long presentation here for you this evening because we've discussed this project and these topics at length, but I am happy to go over anything again that you have specifically, that you want to specifically discuss or target. Otherwise, we have included a motion in the packet. The first step of the adoption process would be for the Planning Commission to recommend distribution to the Township Board. The Township Board would then agree to distribute if that's their decision as well, in compliance with the Michigan Planning Enabling Act, which the draft master plan would be available for the public for 63 days. If this is so undertaken this evening, it would go before the Township Board on January 14th, and therein, on the January 15th through March 19th, it would be available for public comment. We've already been working with the communications team, the cable studio, to make this document available and advertised in multiple facets. So anyone from the community, as well as regional agencies, Wayne County Road Commission, MDOT, SEMCOG, the communities that surround Canton would be aware of this, and any member of the public of the Canton community can review the document in its entirety and see what we have come up with. Within those 63 days, they can make comments to staff. We will compile all of them, and then when the 63-day has ended, we will bring those comments back to the Planning Commission and determine if anything needs to be tweaked, addressed, so forth. So if you're comfortable with the way the document is presented to you in its complete form, we would recommend that you would recommend to distribute to the public for a period of 63 days in compliance with the Michigan Planning Enabling Act. And with that, I will answer any questions. We can go through any page of the document or any chapter or any concept you would like to discuss at length. Yeah.
You're satisfied with the document that's been given to you by the planning consultant?
There are a couple of like minor things. There's like one or two pictures that are duplicated. There's one map that's a little fuzzy to read just on our end that we would swap out, but nothing substantive that would alter the course of the history of, or the future of the Canton community. Yes, I am satisfied with how they've presented it to us.
It's at
It's in the packet.
It's at the bottom of the page. It's a very short motion.
That must mean that must be mean Nancy's ready to read it.
Nancy,
rush anybody.
I mean, go ahead, Nancy, if you'd like to make a motion. The floor is yours.
I'm not quite sure how to turn this on.
No, I think when it's on, it's lit up.
Okay. I move to recommend distribution of the draft master plan document, Canton's Vision for Tomorrow, a comprehensive community master plan, in compliance with the Michigan Planning Enable Act, PA 33 of 2008, as amended for a period of 63 days.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Eggenberger and support by Commissioner Lee. Any further discussion? Commissioner Eggenberger, could you call the vote?
Sure. Commissioner Cruz, nope. Commissioner Eggenberger, yep. Commissioner Foster.
Yes.
Commissioner Janowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Lee.
Yes.
Commissioner Singh.
Yes.
Commissioner Watkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Weber.
Yes.
And Chairperson Zuber.
Yes, please. All right, motion carries. Aaron, thank you for all your hard work.
A lot of hard work. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah. Well. All right, I think that's it on our agenda, is it not? Unless you have staff reports, commission, and liaison
Unless we
comments.
want to talk about the game a little longer.
I mean, we're here.
What is that development that's in the future Everton Preserve? I can't picture where that's at.
Yeah, Everton Reserve, that's at the
I can tell you
northwest
where it is.
corner of Cherry Hill Road and Beck Road. Last year, there was a rezoning proposal to rezone some of the parcels there to R2.
Is this the one behind the school or that we
Between
did,
Dotson
that
and,
Pulte's
Portsmouth.
doing?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
I didn't remember that's what it was called. Okay.
Yeah, so we're, they didn't name it at the time of the rezoning. So when it came in as the name, we had to do a double
Gotcha.
take to see where that was.
Okay.
We're still in the midst of our review, so this will probably not be ready until probably February at the earliest.
No, you cleared it up. I can picture it now. Thank you.
Very good. Anything else anyone wants to talk about?
Last order of business, if I could, through you, Madam Chair.
Sure.
Would love to be able to, I know we've talked several times, yet I don't know if we've got any traction, but would love to formally submit to our kind friends at Wayne County an opportunity to collaborate, coalesce, if you will, on traffic matters in conjunction with real property developments across all 35 square miles of the township, right? I think it's important that we do that, notwithstanding previous engagements of developments, but those that are forthcoming. We have talked about, or we see even more developments coming to roadways that may or may not be in a position to handle the traffic that will be coming its way. And I'd like to keep this at the forefront of this body so that we can work together with the county to understand how our approvals work with their plans for county roadways. So want to put that out before we get to 2025, and would love for it to be at the forefront of this body's agenda moving forward.
Is there a way that you suggest we do that? Or Patrick, do you have any thoughts about how we can do that?
Actually, on one development, we have a traffic study where one of the recommendations from the developer's traffic engineer has recommended optimizing a signal. And there's nothing in that particular traffic study that detailed what optimizing the signal means. So we've been working with our engineering division to coordinate with Wayne County Roads to talk to them before that particular development comes to the Planning Commission for approval, to figure out what does it mean for optimization? Is that something that the county would do? And try to open up some of the channels before plans get to the Planning Commission. So during those discussions with Wayne County, we'll also see if there's any kind of formats or protocols that they want to work with us on before something comes to the Planning Commission, so they can get a jump on certain things. So we'll share what we learn once we reach out to them and figure out what their process is in terms of traffic improvements, traffic plans, and how we can work with them.
Thank you.
Well, to Commissioner Watkins' point, I know we've talked about it a lot recently with a couple developments in particular. It would just be really helpful to engage them or to understand that process so that we can make informed decisions when it comes to some of these projects. I mean, it's not fair to the community, it's not fair to the developers for us being asked to act on these things when we have incomplete information. So, and it's not fair to your staff either, to be honest with you. So if traffic is one of the concerns we have to be worried about, then I think it is important that the county, who is the ultimate, or the state, whoever the ultimate arbiter is, to have input with us to say, you know, this is what we base our criteria on, this is what we see. Whatever the information is, it would be helpful if somebody would engage with the township and ultimately this commission to have that dialogue.
You know, there are other issues too. I'm sorry. There are other issues too, not just roads, but these wetland approvals. It'd be good to know what makes a wetland, what do they approve? What are they looking at? Why do they say it's okay? Might be a good way to, it's another issue that comes before us. Oh, it's already been approved by Eagle? Is that the name of it?
Yes.
Yeah, already been approved. Well, what did they use? Does it make sense? You know, and we can't really question it now, but it would be good to have a head start on what they're approving and what are they looking at as ways, because I'm thinking every developer should have something that mitigates, particularly in this area, any water that they add on that's not just run off into our system, that we have a good idea of how they're handling it or how they're suggesting they handle it, because it might be something we can have input. I don't know, but we're kind of blind. You know, those are things we just don't have any control over and don't even see how they're being judged. So, question, that's all.
Yeah, and for wetlands that are regulated by the state, and sometimes going through Eagle and the site plan approval process through the township is sometimes a chicken and egg issue, because sometimes they'll know on the plan from their engineer what kind of wetland permits they'll need for the development, and sometimes that wetland permitting process can take a long time. Other times, they don't want to submit for wetlands until they have site plan review, until they know exactly what they're doing. So sometimes they go to Eagle before and they get an answer. Sometimes it's concurrent, sometimes it doesn't happen until after. It just depends on the type of wetland and the scope of everything. But that is something in 2025 that we're going to propose possibly being more involved in, and proposing some wetland regulations to our code of ordinances. And it wouldn't supersede anything Eagle does, so anything that Eagle has jurisdiction on, it would maintain jurisdiction. But there are certain wetlands in the community that are not regulated by Eagle that Canton could have some regulatory authority over. So that'll be something that we'll be looking at in the coming months.
Wetlands serve a purpose, and they, you know, if we take them away, then we have to mitigate. I'm sure that people designing the retention and detention ponds understand that in a way I never will, but, you know, if there's wetlands, they serve a purpose in terms of holding the water from all.
Getting in everyone's
Exactly. And
You
they,
have a 500-year rain. Like,
yeah, 500 a year, 1,000 a year, oh, God. Anyway, yes. Point. Both good points, thank you.
And another part of that is when wetlands are filled and they're required to be mitigated by a developer, they will buy mitigation credits through Eagle. And oftentimes those mitigation areas are located outside of Canton Township, but
Right.
in the same wetland.
Right.
So one of the things that we want to work with is to try to see how we can get mitigation done in Canton Township. It'd be great to have developments that take place in Canton Township mitigate in the township. We also want to look at how we could potentially be a receiver of mitigation. If other developers outside the community are doing mitigation, is there a way to have a mitigation bank somewhere in Canton? So those are things that we'll be exploring with Eagle and through our evaluation of our wetland regulations.
Good. That sounds great, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Can I raise an idea? It's particularly when it comes to roads. I know that our engineering and municipal services department talks to Wayne County quite frequently about roads. And we have the township roads improvement plan. Sometimes I think some of that information on what's planned and what their conversations with Wayne County on upcoming improvements does not trickle down to the planning commission. And I just wonder if someone from MSD could, you know, update the planning commission a couple of times a year on, you know, what the township has approved for upcoming road projects, what Wayne County is considering for road projects, just so the planning commission has that information.
That would be very helpful, thank you.
Yeah, we can do that.
What were the two departments you mentioned?
The engineering and municipal services.
Municipal services.
Madam Chair, I'll close with a small story. I remember my mom, many years ago, she purchased what we would call, I don't know if they still have it, it's called a butterball turkey. Anybody remember the butterball? It was a really big turkey. This was the biggest turkey I'd ever seen in my life. She had this really deep dish, and she had put all of the stuff in it, and she had buttered the turkey and got it all prepared. My mom got ready to turn around and put it in the oven, and guess what? It was too big. Fit in the oven. Now, my mom was able to take it across the street to the woman's house next door who had a bigger oven. And I said all that to say this. With all the great minds that are in this room, including a fantastic planning staff, none better, right? What we don't want to do is be able to prepare all these great, big, fantastic turkeys and not have an oven big enough for them to fit in.
Are you saying our projects are turkeys?
they're good, they're great. You could, yeah. And I just want us to be able to make sure that what we're doing isn't a bunch of work on the front end to try and jam something into some place where it doesn't fit at all.
Okay, wow.
Motion to adjourn,
And
Madam
that
Chair.
was very timely. All right, we have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Watkins and support by Commissioner Lee. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye, true story, by the way.
I'm sure. Very timely.
Great analogy.